First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Danish hospitality welcoming us here. For me, it's an inspiration to come here to meet leaders of new defence leagues. We are here today to give birth to a new era. An era where we will stand up against the Islamification of Europe. It's a historic day. We're here to stand up for freedom, for democracy. Our freedoms are under threat. Our very way of life is under threat across Europe. What's happening today is a historic date. This date will be remembered and etched into history. The 31st of the 3rd, 2012, the date where people come together from all European countries to give birth to a European Defence League. A European Defence League that is willing to take to the streets. Saudi petrol money has bought our politicians' silence. Fear is paralysing. Our politicians have been paralysed with fear. The Danish cartoonist, we're in Aarhus today. The Danish cartoonist now has to live in fear for the rest of his life. That's why we've come here to stand up for freedom of speech. Our politicians have sold us out. They're not standing up for us. Christianity is under attack. It is being marginalised, our very way of life. There has been an Islamic freight train going across Europe unchallenged for 15 to 20 years. Those days have now gone. We are here to challenge it. From small acorns, big oak trees will grow. In England, from the English Defence League, we started with 30. We are now a strong organisation which is known worldwide. After today, the structure is here for the Danish Defence League to grow. Every person in Denmark, by the end of the day, would have heard of the Danish Defence League. They will then join their ranks. Everyone who wants to stand up for freedom and democracy will swell the ranks of the Danish Defence League. We are entering into a new era, an era that will be looked back upon in history as the counter-jihad movement. What? In 1683, on September the 11th, the Ottoman Empire was stopped at the gates of Vienna. They were stopped from massacring Christianity and Judaism. This is a historic war. The line in the sand is drawn today, where the Defence Leagues are born, again to stop it. And that's right, this is the far left. The far left, okay, wherever we go, we have threats of violence against us. Mainly by far left organisations like this.
Ignore it! Keep saying! Let's get back.
Our politicians have sold us out, okay? We're a democracy, a freedom-loving democracy, where you have the freedom of speech to protest without fear of violence. All these police are here today, they're not here for us. We're classed and we're labelled and smeared as violent hooligans. And we're the ones that are labelled as violent hooligans. These are the far-left organisations which are supported, aided and abetted by local politicians across the country, across Europe, and they just wish to come out and attack us every time. The apologists, back in Britain, we are our government saying that Assad from Syria will be held to account, okay? All the apologists, all the treacherous politicians that are selling us out for the bottomless pit of Saudi petrol money, you will be held to account. There is a swing going on now across Europe from left to right. What is happening is unstoppable. There is no politician, there is no far left organisation, there is no Islamist group that can stop it. Europe is awake, people are standing up. As you can see now, look. There is a lot of Antifa. Everything done in darkness will be revealed in light. All of our politicians that are taking Saudi petrol money to sell us out, that are not standing up for us, we have been left no other choice but to stand stand up for ourselves. We are ordinary people coming together to make a stand. They will all be held accountable. Sorry, it's sort of like ruin the demonstration here. But...
Just flow.
Yeah. It's quite entertaining, though, isn't it?
Yeah, our religious leaders have sold us out as well.
And our religious leaders, where are all across the world, wherever Christians are a minority, they are persecuted. Wherever it is, nothing will change. In Britain, it's the same in Egypt. No matter, all over the world, wherever they're minority, they're persecuted. Now, across Europe, in cities where Christians are minorities, they are persecuted. No one is standing up from. Where are all our church leaders to come out and stand up for the Christians? No one's speaking out for the Christians anymore. We're going to take our next demonstration will be in Malmo, in Sweden. The reason for Malmo, Swedish women, it is like a foreign ideology has come into Sweden and started raping the women. Malmo is now the rape capital of Europe, with all the rapists being Muslim immigrants and all the victims being Swedish women. The men of Sweden at present, or to present, are standing by and doing nothing. It's the same in Britain. So we're going to bring it to Malmo. The Jews are leaving Malmo like an exodus because they're persecuted. It has to stop. There has to come a time when people say, no, enough is enough. And after today, with the media attention, all the Defence League swelling numbers, we'll meet again in Malmo. Over the next 12 months, we're going to hit Paris and Brussels. European Defence League coming to a Shiraz-driven hellhole near you. This is the first time I've ever got nervous giving a speech here, because it's out of my country. I'm usually speaking, and I know I'm speaking in front of my own country, men and women.
You're home here, man.
Yeah, thank you. From 3 years ago, I've looked to certain people for inspiration. Certain people I've watched: Robert Spencer, Pamela Geller, Colonel Lieutenant West. All these people give me inspiration. I've sat down with Defence League leaders and I've said, this is what you will have to expect. As a leader of Defence League, you will get attacked. Your family will get attacked. Your house will get attacked. You will have death threats on a regular basis. You will be persecuted by the police. Your life will change in a major way, okay? But when we compare this to what our British, well, not just our British military, our coalition of military that are fighting for our freedoms in Afghanistan, in Iraq, they are suffering, they are dying in faraway fields. They get up every day and they go out and they fight that fight. Now it is our duty, if we are to stand up for the next generation of European children, it is our duty, no matter what we face, to stand up and do it. Islam rules with fear and intimidation. We are not scared, we will not be silenced.